So the first list is going to be top 10 head coaches in college football today. So obviously the first two lists I've done of top tens, they haven't really got a lot of backlash. Like there hasn't been a lot of people coming from our throats or, really, being mean in the comment sections the way they're being mean in the comment sections when it comes to calling Mississippi State the team that never has the least amount of wins in SEC football ever, the worst program in the SEC. Apparently, that doesn't sit right with people because they've actually won 10 games twice ever. I'll have to talk about it maybe a little later, but the Mississippi State fans this week in the comments were absolutely idiots, absolute idiots. But I'll tell you, he's not an idiot myself, and I've got a list of the top 10 head coaches in college football. Going to be drinking water, got to stay hydrated. So let's go ahead and get into that list. All right, here we go. I'm sure nobody has any disagreements. I've been going from 1 to 10 on these, so I think I want to start from 10 to 1 this time. So number 10, I've got Lane Kiffin. Okay, now we're going to go through all this list. And before anybody said anything, it's tomatoes, tomatoes with a lot of these guys because a lot of these guys have accomplished one little thing, but the other one hasn't, or maybe they have like a 2-1 record against each other, but one has a conference championship. Like there's a lot of variables that go into this. Lane Kiffin is the only one on this list besides Marcus Freeman because he doesn't coach in a conference. Lane Kiffin is the only one in here without a Power 4 conference championship. Lane Kiffin is 116 and 53 all time, 69% completion or 69% winning percentage. Number very fitting for Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss, he was 59 and 19, 55 and 19. So he's never won a SC championship when he was at Tennessee, all right, Ole Miss. He never won one with USC. He's won a couple with FAU when he was in the Conference USA. I'm guessing Sun Belt, Conference USA, American, not sure. With FAU, I'm not sure if they were. May not know ball there. You may have caught me on a bad time. But I've got Lane Kiffin ranked at number 10. It's hard to put him against some of these head coaches that have won conference championships at the big boy level. He's obviously one of the premier names, one of the more likable ones, depending on who you are. But I think Lane Kiffin at number 10 is a fair spot. At number 9, I've got Kalen DeBoer, Alabama head coach. 57 and 17 record, 77% winning percentage. He was 25 and 3 at Washington. He's 20 and 8 so far at Bama's. Had a lot easier road there in the Pac-12. He obviously had a natty appearance when he was at Washington. He had a Pac-12 championship at Washington. He hasn't done, it's necessarily too bad at Alabama if Alabama's name was, Mississippi State. But their name's Alabama, so they're kind of expecting a little bit more. But all in all, I mean, I think just the fact that this year they didn't have any run game, like you kind of look at him like, is he kind of like just an offensive mind that doesn't know how to play tough physical football? He doesn't get his guys to do that. You think about his teams with Washington and Penix, and when they played Michigan National Championship and they kind of got moseyed down real hard by physical teams. Does he need to be a little more physical with his recruiting, with his approach and the way he plays the game? Those are just things you kind of question about him. But he's really good in clutch situations. We look at all of his one possession wins. He's a good head coach. They're all good head coaches. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and dog any of these head coaches. I'm not doing that today. Okay. That's not what I'm doing. The only people I'm dogging are Mississippi State fans. But I do think that Kalen DeBoer has a lot of climbing up the ladder to do to be one of the premier head coaches. I think maybe 2 years ago when he got the Alabama head coaching job, people were thinking of him like that. I think it's shown that, it's a little tough. 2 years in, Alabama doesn't have an SEC championship, didn't even play for one 2 years ago. He's still got to climb the ladder a little bit. He's made a national championship, and that's all great, but he's still got to climb the ladder a little bit, in my opinion. Number 8, you got Dabo Swinney. Look, maybe nowadays, like right now, he's not, seen as one of the better head coaches right now just because how things have gone. But when you look at the stats, people, 187 and 53 all time, so that's 78% winning percentage. 18 years as a head coach at Clemson. Only 5 of those years has he not won 10 games. He's got 2 national championships, and this is a crazy, but he's won 9 ACC championships. So 1, 2, 3, you know how to count to 9, right? 9 ACC championships. It's just incredible. You kind of just take that for granted because of the 2010s and how dominant Clemson was, but 9 ACC championships is something. I mean, Mario Cristobal, the guy above him, doesn't even have 1. So that's saying something. Dabo Swinney, obviously, he keeps going down the ladder. Unlike Kalen DeBoer, he keeps going down the ladder because of everything that's going on with him, and he's not winning games anymore. Right? It's a little bit of a different situation. He's going down a little bit while other people are kind of climbing above him. But I think it'd be disrespectful in terms of what he's accomplished, and he's still here to put him outside the top 10. So I got him comfortably at 8. For 7, Mario Cristobal. So Mario Cristobal was a head coach at Florida International for a while, like back in the O's, like in the 07s through something. Now, he did not do well. He was 27-47 at FIU, but then he got his chance at Oregon a couple years later after he was Alabama made a couple stops, and he was 35-13 at Oregon, and he's 35-19 with Miami now. He has 2 Pac-12 championships when he was at Oregon, no ACC championships with Miami, but overall 97-79, 55% winning percentage. But I think a lot of jokes were made about Mario Cristobal over the past couple years, how he couldn't win the big game. Obviously, he had a lot of mishaps. You think about the Georgia Tech game where he, made a ran the ball and cost him the game. There's a lot of things, right? But this championship run, you have to kind of give him the respect. And I think I didn't really know a lot about Mario Cristobal other than, the perception of him until this playoff run. Guy's just he's got like an attitude to him, like I don't, don't fuck with me attitude. And I know everybody saw the clip last night of Mario Cristobal and Kirby Smart going at each other, the Steve Spurrier Award, Coaches Award or whatever it was. But I think Mario Cristobal is a really good coach, and he almost had a chance in the national championship, and it would have really, cemented him probably in the top 5 here. But I think he's still got ways to go in terms of he can't be losing these games to Louisville, and he can't be losing these games to SMU. That's where he's got to figure some things out. So we're going to keep him down there at 7. Steve Sarkisian at number 6. Sip of water at number 6 as well. Steve Sarkisian at number 6. 94-55 overall, 63% winning percentage. Guy's been in the NFL. He was the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator for a while. Been to 2 college football playoff semifinals. He is so good at getting talent. It's actually interesting when I was looking through those stats. He's never had a 10-win season until he got to Texas, and that was 3 years ago. Last year they were in the Big 12. Was the first time he had ever had a 10-win season as a head coach. He's had a 10-win season 3 years in a row. So he's kind of peaking, right? Like he's doing the best he's ever done. But he's always been a really good head coach, right? Like he had, stints at Washington, USC. So, and then obviously, like I mentioned, with the Falcons in Atlanta, and he's just going this way. And the way he gets talent, and I know Texas is a great, location because you can have all this money and get all this talent. But the way he's going at it and the way people want to play for him, because everyone can get in these bidding wars, but he does seem to have an act for getting some of the best talent. And I think that's a real big trait in the coaching. And look, he is Georgia, like if he could beat Georgia, who knows where they would be right now, right? And he's lost to teams like Mississippi State, or sorry, oh my God, I've been sitting here roasting, talking about Mississippi State too much. But he's lost to teams like Ohio State. He has some blemish against Florida, but it's like Ohio State and Georgia. The last couple years are the only 2 teams he lost to besides Florida. Think about that. To 2024, he lost to Ohio State and Georgia twice. And then this year, he lost to Ohio State and Georgia and Florida. So he's right there. He is right there. You know what I mean? Even with the struggles they had this season. So I got Steve Sarkisian number 6. Almost said Dan Lanning. Marcus Freeman is at number 5. So I kind of almost had Dan Lanning at 5, but I put him at 4. And I know Marcus Freeman has went to a national championship. Okay, he's 43-12, 78% winning percentage. He's an awesome guy. On TV, he just looks like a great guy to work for or get coached by. It's a shame he is the head coach of Notre Dame because Notre Dame is such an unlikable place, but he seems like a real likable guy. I bumped him down just because he does have some blemishes on his record of like losing to the Northern Illinois last year. I lost to Marshall his first year at Notre Dame. Like he's had some bad losses, like some really bad losses that you really some of these other guys don't have those. So I'm going to bump him back. I know they had the good run, but they didn't even play in a bowl game this past year too, so that kind of bumps them down a little bit. Dan Lanning and Marcus Freeman, you could kind of flip-flop them. I wouldn't be mad at you, but I originally had Lanning down at 5. I put them up to 4. Dan Lanning's just got a little bit more accomplishments in my eyes. Dan Lanning at number 4, he is 48-8 as a head coach. which is pretty crazy. He's 48-8, 85% winning percentage. Obviously, he has a Big Ten championship, undefeated season 2 years ago. Does not have a Pac-12 championship, I believe. They never didn't get one when he was there for 2 years. When Oregon was there for 2 years when he was there. But the guy, I mean, look, he goes to semifinals this past year. He was number one team in the country the year before and was in the quarterfinals. He was, they win the Pac-12 championship during the playoffs the year before. Like, he is constantly got Oregon, who was not like a bad program. Mario Cristobal was there before. We've all known Oregon to be good for a while, but it seems like they're at a different level. It seems like they are physically more dominant. They are, the talent just seems to get better and better there. And the way they win isn't like the explosive offense that we're used to, the fast style Oregon teams. They just kind of punch you in the mouth. They run the ball. They play really good defense. I think Dan Lanning's a great coach. I mean, I kind of wanted to put him a little higher than this, but I'm trying to respect the notions of, winning national championships and things here. So I bumped him down, but he's a really good head coach. Number 3, I got Ryan Day, 82-12, never had less than 11 wins as a head coach besides COVID when they had 7. I forgot to write down Ryan Day's winning percentage is probably pretty high. 82-12 seems like a lot, but look, he's a really good head coach. The whole discussion was he born on third base? He's the coach for the Ohio State Buckeyes. When is the last time Ohio State's even put out a bad product? I mean, it's been a long time, right? So I'm not going to say it, but I'm saying it's a fair argument, okay? And I'm just saying it's a fair argument that Ryan Day is at one of the easiest places to win ever. I'm not going to be a hater. I'm just telling you it's easy. It could be easy for me to do that, but he has done well with what he's been given. And he's been on, and there's a lot of people that wanted him fired. Okay, let's just remember that moments. There's 4 years in a row people wanted him fired. So he's a good head coach. Not better than the top 2 above him. All right, and then Kurt Cigneri got number 2, 46-6 as a head coach in FBS level. So that's between James Madison and Indiana. He has actually a better winning percentage at Indiana than he does at James Madison, which is crazy. Only lost 2 games, obviously, 27-2. 93% winning percentage of Indiana to 83% of James Madison. We all know the story. Obviously, the reigning national champion doesn't lose. Google him. It's interesting, man. The discussion between him and Kirby Smart. Obviously, call it what you want. He's just gonna have to do it a little longer. Okay, I think that's a fair thing to do because Kirby Smart, who's at number 1, has an 85% winning percentage. And look at this: out of all coaches who have been head coaches for 10 years or longer in the history of college football, Kirby Smart is the 4th best winning percentage all time. 4th. So before you come over here and you get on your high horse about Curt Cignetti and, this guy's, he did it. He's done something we've never seen before, which is true. He did something we have never seen before with the way Indiana was losing. I'm talking about Indiana's schedule a little bit. In a little bit, you'll see what I mean. I mean, there's a lot of teams that have just beaten up on Indiana for a long time. What Curt Cignetti did was very impressive. Yes. But people don't give Kirby Smart enough credit for what happened. Yes, Georgia was not a dumpster fire program when Kirby Smart took over, but no one took Georgia serious. No one took them serious. It was like Georgia lived on the 2012 we almost beat Bama game and 2007 when a lot of people thought that when we beat Hawaii in the Sugar Bowl, we should have had a chance for a national championship. They don't give this guy enough credit that in year 2, after like a 7-5 season his first year, went to the national championship and was, only the greatest coach ever could make a call to take out the quarterback. To then also, Tyler Simmons was on sides. People forget that. I love the Ohio State fans that love to pat at you and go, well, if you didn't take out Jeremiah, if you guys didn't, hold on, let me restart here. I love the Ohio State fans that are like, well, if you guys didn't take out Marvin Harrison in that Peach Bowl, we would have won that national championship. Yeah, well, you know what? If Tyler Simmons was on sides, and he was on sides, we would have done the national championship in 2017. And you guys would have been taking us serious for a long time. But Kirby Smart, even after that, year after year after year, was having his teams, and some of those teams weren't that good. The Jake Fromm second, third year teams weren't that good. The 2020 wasn't that good, and he just kept building. And he's got it to a point where even after 2 national championships and the way everything is gone now, everything's going to the way of Kurt Cignetti, right? Just recruit and bring all these people over and do all these different things that Kirby Smart isn't used to doing because he wants to have a program where he's got people in for years and years and years, and he's still just chunking out wins, just chunking out SEC championships. So, yes, it's been a tough, 2 years in terms of the postseason after that. I think you could say last year, it's tough to put it on a guy starting his first game ever. This year, really no excuses, but hey, I'm going to need Kurt Cignetti to do it one more time, or I'm going to need Kirby to come down a little bit before I give him the reins. So there we go. That's my top 10 head coaches.